Well, welcome back to Afternoon Break. The coronation is happening tomorrow. So I was inspired to make the King's Quiche. Now, as a reminder, I am allergic to dairy, so I wanted to change it up a little bit. So this is technically a non-dairy version of the quiche, but many of the ingredients are the same. I've added goat cheese, so stay tuned on that. Now, all you have to do to start out is you do want a pastry pie crust. So you can make your own, depending on what your flavor is, what you like to do, how thick you want it. You do want the quiche crust to be a little bit more flaky. So what I did is I just did a store-bought crust and I pre-baked it. What you want to do is lay it in there, pre-bake it for 15 minutes. You can use, weights, or you can use beans just to keep the shape. So that is already done. I've got coconut milk to sub for cream, and I've got regular almond milk for the milk. So what you want to do is you want to toss those in a bowl, like so. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix those up with some herbs. And what I've got here is fresh tarragon. And again, the King's Quiche recipe does call for fresh tarragon. So we're just going to kind of finely chop that up. We're going to put that in there, like so. And the fun thing about quiches is you can really make them your own depending on your flavors. You can put meat in there if you want some meat, but we are going to sans the meat on this one. So we've got our tarragon. We're going to mix up our spinach, just cut that up, chop it up finely, just like so. And you can kind of make it messy. Nothing has to be perfect here. We're going to cut up our green onion. Now, the King's Quiche recipe does not call for green onion, but I am adding it just for a little bit of extra flavor. Green onion, also, chives, things like that, really add a nice flavor pop. So we're going to add that in there. We're going to wait to add the spinach, just like so. A dash of salt and pepper, again, to your flavor. And now this particular recipe does call for eggs. So we've got 2 eggs. I'm going to crack those, put them in our mix, just like so. And then what you're going to do is you're going to beat this up. Be nice, not too much, but you want to beat that up till it's nice and mixed up, just like that. And before we do that, again, non-dairy cheese, but you can use any cheese you want. I'm going to put a little bit in there, but I'm also going to sprinkle some in my base, just like so. Just like that. And again, as I mentioned, I do like to add a little bit of goat cheese. And you can kind of, do bits the size of your flavor if you like goat cheese. I like a lot of goat cheese, so I'm going to mix that in there. And then I'll put some on top as well. Kind of a cool idea you can also do, since it's butter-like, is you can spread it inside on the crust. The messier, the better. And then what we're going to do, we're going to give this another, set that aside. Mix that up. Now, this King's Quiche recipe, they call for beans, soybeans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread those inside here. I'm going to do about half. You could mix it in your mix, but I'm going to do about half, and then I'm going to put the rest in there to mix that up. Let no man be wasted. Just like so. We're going to sprinkle a little bit of spinach in. And then I'm going to use the remainder of the spinach after I pour this in. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to pour this in to our pie crust. And it's going to look like it's not too full, but what's going to happen is when those eggs cook up, it will rise and it will fill up that pie crust nicely. And we can kind of spread out those coconut milk chunks and goat cheese, just kind of get it in there like so. And then as we cut earlier, I've got some more spinach. And you can add any kind of toppings you want, seasonings, things like that, but I'm keeping it pretty close to the actual King's Quiche recipe, just so I can play along tomorrow. This is going to be such a fun event. It's going to be really nice to enjoy this in the morning as we're watching it. I'm going to use the rest of my green onion here, chop that up like so. And the coup de grace is covering it with the rest of your cheese. Really give it that nice, it's going to create a really nice golden touch, just like so, when it's done cooking. You're going to preheat your oven, and while you're making this, you'll want to make sure that you preheat the oven first to about 375, and then as you see, we are ready. We're going to throw it in the oven, and for about 20 to 25 minutes, you'll cook it at that 375. We're going to pull it out, and it is going to be a golden, flaky, delicious King's Quiche to celebrate tomorrow's coronation. And if you're looking for the recipe, you can head over to WTOC.com/afternoonbreak to create your own quiche for your King's coronation celebration. And up next, we're going to introduce you to